Hi, I'm Jess Bachman, Creative Director of Visually. We do information design. This is my birthday, May 20th, and this is the Chronoglyph, a universal language for time and date. It currently shows October 31st, Thursday, 8:15 p.m. But it could also be a clock and a calendar. But I'm going to teach you the language in 2 minutes. The Chronoglyph has 5 separate rings. The first and inner ring is for months, and there are 12 segments. When the chronoglyph looks like this, it's June. The next ring is for days. There are 32 segments. Why not 31? Well, 32 creates 4 quadrants at 8, 16, 24, and 32, which allow easier reference points. The 32nd segment is essentially unused, but in the future it can be used to encode other information. So when the chronoglyph looks like this, it means June 15th. So this could be a symbol for Father's Day. Well, actually it should look like this, since it can occur on only these days, but always on Sunday. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So the next ring is for days of the week, and there are 8 segments. 1 for each day, and an extra which can be encoded for something else, like if it were a holiday, or a full moon, or someone's birthday. But I'll leave that up to you. The next ring is for hours, and there are 24 segments, with noon at the top and midnight at the bottom. This is the opposite of most 24-hour clocks, but I felt this configuration was more familiar as the daylight hours resembled the sun's movement in the sky. So when the chronoglyph looks like this, it's 7 p.m. The final and most familiar ring is for minutes, and there are 60 segments with quarters at 15, 30, 45, and 60. So when the chronoglyph looks like this, it's June 15th, Sunday, 7:15 p.m. So that's how it works. Now let's see how you do on this pop quiz. Feel free to pause the video now, as I will be giving you the answer in 3, 2, 1. Pencils down. The answer is February 14th, Friday, 10:45 p.m. Now if you got most of that right, or close, then you have passed Chronoglyph 101 and are ready for advanced chronography. Don't worry, there are no more quizzes. The chronoglyph is more than just a clock and a calendar. We've been doing that for thousands of years. The chronoglyph can also do ranges. This is summer, June, July, August. And this is the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. This is a typical work week, Monday to Friday, and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., with an hour off for lunch. And this is the second week of the month, any month. And this is the second week of May. And this is 1 minute before the new year. This is the fastest marathon time, and this is Shark Week. And this is a shark approaching, never mind. So let's say you have a meeting on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. in March. Actually, March 8th, for 15 minutes. Let's say there's an insect that gives a mating call that is only in the spring and fall, during the first and third weeks, Tuesday to Thursday and Sunday, every other hour from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m., and for 3 minutes every 5 minutes until the 7th minute when it changes to every other minute for 8 minutes. That is a lot of information to encode into a symbol with no words. Now I'm not saying you would do this, but the chronoglyph is flexible enough that you could. And this looks almost like a QR code that you could scan with an app. Only it's a QR code that you don't need an app for, since you can scan it with your brain. So now that you have a handle on advanced chronography, I think you're ready for the final course, Chronoglyph Theory. This is March. It will always look like this. Pointed corner, flat bottom, slanted edge going up and to the right. In the bracket is how we denote March in English. It looks different in French, Spanish, Dutch, or German, or certainly any of these other languages. And if you want to communicate March in Hindi, you need to decipher this and be able to tell the difference from this, which is February. So we have February, March, and can you guess what this is? If you don't know Hindi, you may have guessed April, which would be wrong. It's actually this. And I'll give you 2 seconds to figure it out. That's right. January. The Chronoglyph as a language is easier to learn and be proficient in than other languages, by several orders of magnitude, because it only deals with time and requires very little memorization as it's a logical system. 9/11. It's a date we attach meaning to. On the Chronoglyph, it looks like this. The Chronoglyph allows us to attach this meaning to an abstract symbol. What we choose to do with this abstraction is up to us. The visual symbols allow for interesting combinations. This is September 11th, and this is November 11th, which is Veterans Day. So this would be a symbol for Iraq and Afghanistan veterans? Maybe. You see, each segment of the Chronoglyph has a unique shape and a unique meaning. This is a universal symbol for the weekend, which never had a symbol until now. And this is a universal symbol for when you can park here. 1 hour, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday to Friday. The Chronoglyph simplifies this and requires a smaller sign. As for the 1 hour part, that can be denoted right on the Chronoglyph. Maybe it's 3 hours, or 90 minutes, or the whole day. We see that long black bar and we know we can park there for the whole day. We don't need to know English. Here's a parking sign in Toronto. Even in English, this is confusing. But it doesn't have to be. It can even be good looking. Now, I'm not saying we need a symbolic language for everything. That's just confusing and requires the tedious memorization that all languages need. But time and date, those are too frequently used and important not to have their own universal language, as long as you can learn it in 2 minutes. And that is the Chronoglyph. I'm Jess Bachman with Visually, and thank you for your 7 minutes. If you want to learn more, head over to chronoglyph.com and try your hand at the Chronoglyph Challenge. Thanks.